an Undertow Content podcast.
Undertow Content acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which we are recording this podcast. We pay our respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people Australia-wide.
Welcome to Cut the Podcast and our bonus Rising Stars episode. Hey guys, it's Nell Nacken here, and in this special series, we want to spotlight today's rising stars shaking things up. We are so excited for this because we're here to bridge the gap between the next generation and you, our curious listeners. In this bonus ep, we have the gorgeous Lily Drummond. Lily is an Adelaide-raised and based writer and director. Their most recent films include Illustrating Sam Newton, Points of Sale, and Watch Me Fly. Lily has been recognised on both the national and international stage as a filmmaker to watch, with their films screening at Academy Award qualifying festivals, speaking on the international LGBTQI+ and disability-specific film festival panels, and earning multiple accolades for their work around the world. Lily is proud to explore and share stories that are reflective of our diverse human spectrum, stories that have meaning and the potential to evoke change. Lily is a poignant storyteller that is committed to their craft. And just this week, Lily has had their film With Love, Lottie screen in the My Queer Career Showcase and won the Emerging Filmmaker Award at Mardi Gras Queer Screen Film Festival. Big congrats to Lily. And here is our chat with Lily, myself, and Amanda. Welcome, Lily. We're so excited to have you. Tell us about you.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Adelaide. I currently live and work in Adelaide. I'm a writer-director. A lot of my work focuses on young adult comedy drama, really championing disabled and queer stories.
What are you working on at the moment?
I've just finished a short film called With Love, Lottie, which is, again, a short little coming-of-age narrative about a young disabled girl who fears that she will never find love, so she enlists the help of her two best friends to help her go on dates through sort of a dating 101 lesson. And then she discovers that all the love that she needs in her life is actually already around her. And I'm writing a feature. Similar vibes, similar genre, comedy drama about two best friends in their last year of high school. Yeah, and about their experiences together.
It's so relevant, isn't it? Because everyone goes through that, whether you're a young adult or whether you're 35, 55, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's so relatable for so many people at different ages.
And what I loved about your film, I Love Lottie, I thought you just nailed some of those really poignant moments for her. And I think that's really relatable, at any age. Yeah. Those moments of like, oh no, this happened. And then when you get accepted by somebody, it's just like, oh.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's something that a lot of people, particularly the industry, forgets when we are telling these stories that involve disabled characters, queer characters. They're not niche stories. They're actually universal. There is a universality to the stories that I'm trying to tell just because they are also incorporating the lived experience of disabled and queer people. They're actually these universal stories that anyone can relate to.
Yeah, that's what's so beautiful about your storytelling too, is that it's like, I don't want to say it normalizes it because like what is normal? Everyone's normal is different, but it's just part of it. Everything is just makes up the story. It's all about the story and everyone can relate to it. It's a non-factor almost and not in a negative way. It's just, this is this person and this is who they are and how they live their life and this is the experience they're going through. You do that so well and you write really beautifully for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I also love the visual feast with Love, Lottie, and like it's so stunning, and I feel like maybe that's part of your style, your storytelling.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It's like, over the top,
love
extravagant, colourful. Yeah, I love working with colour, just vibrant colours. Working with the production design team and the costume design team and the camera team. It was just, it was really exciting. And I wanted to create the world through like an 18-year-old, when everything seems so much bigger at that age. Everything,
Heartbreak.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the world's going to end if this doesn't happen now and no one understands what I'm going through. But everything is also quite beautiful at that stage in your life as well. It's just everything's magnified.
Who is your dream to work with? And this could be a collaborator, or it could be an actor, or it could be...
Reach for the stars.
Yeah.
I love Greta Gerwig. I feel like everyone, a lot of young women are going to say that, but I think she's just such a trailblazer, and I think, she's excellent. And I look to her because I think she captures the teenage experience quite well in ways that I am trying to as well. I love Greta Gerwig. I love her stories. Emma Seligman, Rachel Sennett. I love both of them. They're hilarious. And they're taking these really bold risks, and it's paying off. It's the representation that I think a lot of young queer women are really hungry for now. And like I said, they're not niche stories. They're actually universal. Like anyone can see these stories and just find a part of themselves in it. It's exciting to see that.
That's why representation is so important, because it's having yourself reflected back and being able to see yourself on screen. I remember having this chat with a friend in LA. He's gay, he's Latino, and he's like, I grew up watching and he rattled off all these Disney movies, and he's like, and I had to just relate with like a white girl because that was I was seeing my experience, and I'm like, that's so cool that that's not a problem anymore. It's becoming less and less of a problem.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe that's part of, your superpower is bringing these stories and voices to the screen? Do you think that's something that maybe is going to help you stand out?
I hope so. I talk about it a lot with the people that I work with. I want all of my works to be as much my work as it is everyone who works on it. I love the collaborative process because I think it brings such a richness to the story, to the work, that you can't get if you're just working alone. So it's always really exciting to me when I do work with actors, heads of department, to see how they interpret the story, what they can bring to it, how we can change the story to be reflective of, like for actors, for example, to be reflective of their own lived experience. And I think that's the most exciting part about being a storyteller, is understanding and seeing what other people resonate with it, and what they can bring to it.
Yeah, that's interesting. So how often or how much change does the script go through, for example, with Love, Lottie? Did it evolve and change?
Yeah, totally. It's a practice I've been doing for quite a few years now, and it's something, I guess, that does make me stand out a little bit. What I like to do is get the story into a place that generally is reflective of me and my experiences, but after casting is actually sitting down with the actor and rewriting the script or looking at the script to be reflective of their lived experience. So with Love, Lottie, for example, I wrote Lottie's character to be very much about me and my experiences and my lived experience in life. But then sitting down with Bedelia a couple of times and rewriting some of Lottie's lines, some of what Lottie experiences. There's a date scene where something goes wrong in her body for her and she sort of loses a bit of bodily autonomy and it's a bit embarrassing for her. So it was really about working with Bedelia about, okay, what is something that would happen to you in real life that you've experienced that we can change to actually reflect your own lived experience and make the character more reflective of you and just, reflective of I guess, lived experience of disabled people, because it's so nuanced and there are no two disabled people alike. Everyone's different. Everyone experiences life differently. And so if we have an actor that's coming in to play a role that isn't reflective of how they experience the world, it's not going to be truthful. And so I think, just making sure that we have the voices actually reflecting what's happening in the world.
It felt so authentic.
Yeah. And I think that is such a game-changing way of writing. It really is. And it's something that I have always gravitated to naturally, something around that idea. You articulate it really beautifully, but adapting the script or the words or the experience that really fits in, like the actors have always meant to fit in with us or fit in with the writer or fit in with the character, but it's like, what if you could actually find a marriage between the two? Then you're really going to get authentic, powerful performances out of the actor. And that only benefits the film. It's such a genius way of thinking about it. And it just becomes more authentic.
It does. And it doesn't take anything away from the film by changing aspects of the character or aspects of the story. I mean, you're not asking these people to come in and like change the arcs of the story. Like everything remains the same. It doesn't take anything away from the story. If anything, it just adds to the story. It adds authenticity. It adds personality. It adds nuance. Yeah, nuance that one writer is not going to be able to capture unless they are personally writing solely from personal lived experience and they have an actor who has the same lived experience and they come in and play that role. That's cool too. Yeah, it's exciting to me because it means I get to collaborate with people and understand how they view the world and experience the world and be able to actually represent that truthfully.
So what do you need next to move your career forward? What do you feel like you need?
I need a good producer. I need a good producer who will let me take risks. I need a good producer who believes in me and isn't afraid to give voice to people who in the past haven't had that opportunity. I think a lot of the time the industry is so concerned about what is going to sell and it's driven by what is going to be profitable and marketable. And they're worried about the risk of creating or telling stories that they think won't sell. But I think there's an even bigger risk in not telling those stories at all. Like I said, these stories aren't niche. They are universal. And young people, young disabled people, young queer people, young people, just people from marginalised backgrounds or historically marginalised backgrounds are hungry for these stories. And so we need producers to see that and recognise that and take a risk. Because like I said, I mean, it's paying off. You see Bottoms, you see Shiver Baby, like you see Barbie even, these are bold risks, but they're paying off. People are hungry for it.
Good to know. Well, any producers out there?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
What kind of film are you going to pay to see at the movies? What's your jam?
Oh, it's everything that I'm writing. I'm writing the films that I want to see. I just love young adult. I mean, my family always laugh at me because I love the coming of age drama. It's just so beautiful, a beautiful coming of age. It's just, I love it so much.
The amount of times I watched To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
So sweet.
Also, love Noah, love Lana. Please keep them in movies together. It's.
I love a good coming of age narrative. You know, I love musicals as well.
What's your favourite?
Oh, definitely Moulin Rouge.
Oh, so good.
Yes. I love films, like I said, that take risks. I love films that take risk and are bold and are bright and colourful and exciting to watch. My favourite film of all time is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. And I know that might be a bit of a wild card, but it was the film that I saw when I think I was like 14 or 15. I was in high school and it was around the time that, you know, you're in year 9 and 10 and your careers counsellor is like, what are you going to do with your life? Like, don't pursue a career in the arts. A career in the arts in Adelaide, like, that's a death wish. But I saw that film with my dad and I was like in the cinemas and I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. It's bold. It's exciting. Of course it's cheesy, but it's the magic of cinema. That film, it's just the magic of cinema to me. Same with Moulin Rouge. It's just bold and exciting and different.
And I really like that it's, you know, it can be big budget like Moulin Rouge or it can be small budget, but it's the vision of, and, you know, the impact that it has. So what are you watching and where are you watching it?
Oh, wait, English Teacher just came out. That's so fun. It's weird because it's so contemporary. It almost feels a bit jarring. It's so contemporary. It's so modern. It feels like it was made yesterday, which it probably was. But yeah, it's fun. It's exciting. It's new. It's very young Gen Z humour, which is so much fun.
And that was at the theatre?
No, it's a TV show.
It's a TV show. Sorry. Yeah.
I feel like they have to have consultants for that accurate Gen Z language, right?
Yeah, because it's like, oh, Gen Z, we can't hire Gen Z because they're too young. And it's like, well, you can't just get them in the room. Like, there's a way to do that. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, I love that, the Gen Z consultant.
Yeah, exactly. I love Heartbreak High. It's so exciting. Great representation from all angles. Yeah, so Australian. I think the creatives that are working on that are just brilliant. I'm really excited for season 3.
That was a game changer for Australian television.
Completely. Yeah. And I love, there has recently been this like explosion of young adult media, and it's really exciting, I think, to be part of that, hopefully. Yeah, like Heartbreak High, Sex Education.
That's what your stuff reminds me of. Sex education.
Yeah, thank you.
It really does.
Yeah, it's new and it's different. Oh, there's a great kids TV show actually that came out of the UK based on a book called A Kind of Spark. It was really sweet. It's about 2 autistic sisters and their life and going through school, and so it's kind of like part historical drama. It goes back and looks at the witch trials that went, through their town, and yeah, it's really fun. It's really sweet. Again, really brilliant representation that we just wouldn't have had like literally 5 years ago. So yeah, it's really nice to see that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What do you wish the bigwigs knew?
So like the decision makers.
What I really want them to know is that diverse stories aren't risky. What's risky is continuing to exclude these voices. And there's a whole generation of young people who are craving authentic representation, who are tired of seeing themselves portrayed through the same stereotypes or worse, just not at all. As someone from both of these communities and working within these communities, I can see that there's just such a hunger for diverse and nuanced storytelling. Also, producing films by disabled and queer creators shouldn't be, treated as a way to just fulfill diversity quotas. We actually deserve to be in the room because of our talent, because of our vision, and because of the unique perspectives that we bring to the craft. And investing in us, investing in these historically marginalised communities, means investing in stories that haven't been told before. And that's where the real opportunity lies. I think innovation comes from taking risks on voices that haven't been heard yet. And that's something that we as emerging creators from these communities are really ready to offer.
I love that. I want to copy, paste, put it on a sign. Legit, because it's so crucial. And I think that's the other part of it too, is that Gen Z, and I've said this 20 million times I say it every day, Gen Z are absorbing stories differently and they are telling stories differently, and therefore demanding different stories to be told. And I think that's exactly it. It's really leaning into that, because Gen Z are the next audience. They're actually the audience because they're, I'm curious, do you think Gen Z, and obviously you don't have to be a spokesperson for Gen Z, but what you know about, do they want to go to the movies? Are they going to go back to the movies?
I think people are going to get fatigue. I think they're going to get TikTok fatigue. And I love TikTok. I do. I love to waste time on that app. I waste so much time, but I don't think it's going to stay. I know I'm going to get sick of it soon. Okay, I don't know about the rest of Gen Z, but I love the movies. It's like my top 3 favourite things to do in life. In general, I love going to the movies. Yeah. I love it. There is nothing better, in my opinion. So I will continue. Look, if the movies has 100 audience members, I'm one of them. If they have 1 audience member, it's me. If there's no one there, I'm dead. I love I love going to the movies.
I think you're onto something. I think, I love that.
The last question was, tell us your pitch.
Oh, goodness. I want to create stories that people resonate with, that everyone can resonate with. I want an industry that is inclusive. I think the thing I want people to take away is that, these stories aren't hard to tell. They're not hard to make happen. It's not actually that difficult to get people in a room and get them to share their stories. I think there are just barriers in place. Once those barriers are removed, it makes way for so many new voices to actually be allowed the opportunity to speak, and everyone has a voice. And I think we just need to actually listen and take away some of the barriers to actually getting there. But everyone has access needs, not just disabled people. Everyone has access needs. How you get from one place, from an office to the set, how much sleep you've had the night before. Everyone has access needs, not just disabled people. And I think as long as we can actually provide the spaces for people to be able to access, it will just create a better industry, and we'll be able to hear so many new stories that we haven't heard before because the barriers have been in place. So I guess what I want to do is be able to help facilitate that and really provide opportunities for people to be able to come in and tell their stories and shape the story that I might have written to be reflective of their experience.
It's interesting you talk about access too and access needs. It's even communication styles.
Totally, yeah.
I was going to say, how do we get better?
You just ask. You talk to people and you ask. People are generally really open. The reason they're not open is because they haven't been asked. They haven't had the opportunity. Most people, when you give them an opportunity and you ask, how can we best include you? How can we make the space accessible for you? Most of the time, it's not that hard. And so what people think is this really big, arduous task. Oh, we've got to create the space. It's got to be accessible. It's actually not that hard. People get scared about doing it wrong because they don't try at all. And that's the problem.
We've actually just got to ask. And sometimes there will be people who are like, why are you asking, or whatever. Yeah. People do get defensive, but know that it's a defense mechanism, or it's something's going on for them. But it's worth asking, and it should be asked. I think that's the other thing too, is that when it comes to making film and TV shows, it's so hard to get things made. It's so hard to get money to make things. The budgets are huge and it's a lot of money at stake. So people are like, well, we need to cut corners here and cut corners here and cut corners here so we can fit in the budget and we can get this done and we can get this done. And we need to be in this time set because we have talent for this and blah, blah. There's all these factors. But how do we change that culture?
But that, it ruins it for everyone, not just disabled people.
Yes.
Like literally everyone. I mean, I was working on a set a couple of months ago and called it an accessible set because we wanted it to be accessible for everyone. And we had disabled and non-disabled actors and cast and crew and deaf and disabled. And I remember we made the shoot dates slightly shorter. We gave people more breaks. And all of a sudden, all of the non-disabled cast and crew are going, wow, this is the most beautiful, relaxed set I've ever been on.
Wow.
And it's like, well, yeah, it's better for you as well, isn't it? It's better for everyone. They were like, wow, I've never been on a set like this before. And all of a sudden they realize, oh, actually, I work better like this. Maybe this is beneficial for me too. Maybe it's not just in the benefit of people with disability. Maybe it benefits everyone because accessibility benefits everyone.
And it's also accessibility when we talk about, the disability community, and access, we talk about like neurodiverse as well. And that goes back to everybody has access needs. How do we accommodate that? Like there's general needs for everybody. We've learned that from being on set, but it's another layer. I think just should be part of just part of the process. It's just adding it in.
And I've worked with access coordinator. We've had an access coordinator before, and that was really great, having someone who that's their dedicated role. But if you don't have the budget for that, like it really is as simple as just a producer or whoever it is just saying, hey, what do you need? And trying your best to be able to accommodate for that. And like I said, everyone has access needs, whether that's like, how do I get to set today? Will there be water available on set? Will there be maybe a quiet space that I can go? Really simple things, like everyone has access needs. And I think we often forget about that when we're talking about access, and we only think about it in the context of disability.
Lily is definitely one to watch. If you're an emerging creative in the biz and want to be on one of our bonus eps, shoot us an email with your bio, resume, headshot, all that jazz. These bonus eps are for you guys, our listeners. We really want to highlight and spotlight you guys, so please get in touch with us. We really want to hear from you. Thanks for listening.
Cut is an Undertow content podcast. Your hosts are Amanda Brown and Nell Nacken. Music composed by Genevieve Patrick, produced by Ali Aitken.